Independence Day to ourselves. I'm sorry, DGS, you have to be transformed today. I see few male comrades. You are also welcome. Let me take this opportunity and welcome everybody. Can I see Limpopo if it's here? Yeah, that's my home. But I think probably fella manage. Barking, Mpumalang. Yeah, Hana. Northwest. Yeah, next time. Gauteng. Show Comrade CD. Northern Cape. Halala. Western Cape. What Eastern Cape. It shows what these are the hosts. KZN. Eita, KZN, Eita. Eita, KZN, Eita. Press, it's host, it's Kumnandi money, host or something. Then they host and become in numbers. It's so sad if they host, it was only 10. Unfortunately, other provinces, Limpopo, Chunyana, Outwan, it's better than nothing. Let me also welcome our VIP guest. Mamnumbuso, she has Kimi Casper, Kimi Cocotelea have a baby. I get Chaperson ever. Unalimi Cocotelea have a baby. The sister, they will do proper introduction. I'm just welcoming them to feel at home. Novab Chab. She's also there. I will make a mistake not to greet my president. Also, no premier. We are blessed. Let me clarify with you. If you see the premier, it doesn't mean Gutierrez disrespect her. She has something to attend also. And she's worried that she's going to leave without hearing or President Manati. But we promised her, no, don't worry, ma'am. They will send you the speech. Can we clap our hands for ourselves? We've made it. We never thought the people will come in numbers, but well done to Kosat, Seabonga. To all that are here, I'll make the mistake if I can't greet my chairperson. Mam Lydia Mkopan to Melam. Okay. Comrade, I'll be moving to, if you have all your agenda program, the opening and welcome, it's been done. We are going to call the hotel staff for health and safety officer or venue management, so they can tell us if something happens while we are inside. Spuma right or Spuma left or Spuma pesu. It's either we'll try to fly today if they say we go up. So let's go in the meantime while they're still coming. I'll let Baba walk. Niba atinkolen puli. It's like they've gone AWOL. Yo, let's hope for I wanted them to do the health and safety before I can give to the opening and welcome. Chairperson, we province or gender. Because it's very much important to know which is safe levels corner if something happens, but it's like they're able. In the meantime, I'll give two chains. How liturgical? Let me. They didn't want to be absent without permission. Can you come forth and tell us if something happened in this conference hall? I can more.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Colin. The health and safety hotel. If there's any accident, fire, or whatsoever in this hotel, in the first floor, in this room where we are just now, we all going to use the door on our left hand side. And we use passage going down. There's two sides of stairway. We don't use the lift and we don't carry. One on your left and one on your right. Both stairways will take you to the lobby. And from the lobby, we exit to our glass door, converting glass door. We exit the hotel. Our meeting point is on the road, Beach Walk Road. That's where we meet. Thank you.
It's like you are frightened when you talk. You've never seen this beautiful woman before. Full in the hall. Relax, man. Just be yourself. Forget. We are not going to bite you, even you are biteable. On a lighter note. How Maranitigan he's eatable. How? We have to. If you must there's finalist comment. And there is nothing wrong with that. Okay, back to our business. Slalo also Slalo one. Uzos welcome.
Nkosikazi. Malibongwe. Qina Nkosathu qina. And thanks, Program Director. Greeting to the COSATU NOPs led by the President and DGS, PEC members present, our Premier that is here with us in Bogoto, MECs that are here, if there are those that are present with us, members of the legislature present, young workers structure led by the national, also the young workers from the province, if there are those that are available with us, are with us, national administrator, corporate guests, excuse me, and the provincial administrators that are present with us, veterans, guests, and all the affiliates that are present here with us, and also the staff of COSATU. It is our pleasure to honor as COSATU KZN leadership to host such a remarkable event with a lot of history that took place 50 years ago in the 1973 Durban strike. 1973 Durban strike. We remember with these women that they were leading mostly, they were under the apartheid regime. Today we want to remember those brave black women who contributed towards building the trade union movement under oppressive conditions. After listening, we will do introspection as the leaders of this COSATU, of these affiliates that we do lead in those affiliates. We must make an introspection, whether are we still going in the way that they were doing in those times. But also, comrade, yesterday when we were visiting the house of Umam Nombuso, I've learned something of a respect. You know, when you talk about respect, it goes a long way. First, it must start with you as a leader. Know that you must respect other comrades that you are leading, even those that are leading you. And you must also allow to be led, because when you are a leader, you must allow to be led also. Because when you join COSATU, you join your union, you are joining the line, which means you must be led by that constitution that is guided by that one. But comrade, you are also welcome in this International Women's Day. We are very proud as KZN to host this event. You are welcome to the Kingdom of KZN, the only province with the same name. I hope that you will feel free and enjoy every minute of it. You are welcome. Thank you so much, Program Director.
Yes, siyabonga. Bare me afasi ke moeng le shagola la men le bia ke mongwa lona ka gae. It shows gore in Sizulu, I'm just saying ukuthi usamukele u-chairperson we-gender in a province that have a surname. And sizohlala kahle, but it's like esibaningi. Ngicela bona bobaba phakathi kweru. But in KZN polygamy works, they will have 10. DGS, you must be prepared. 10. I don't know how you are going to do it, but 10, it's a minimum. I'm just joking. So, siyabonga sihlalo usenze ukuthi sifile at home. Let's hope sizocula kahle. Sihlengisa ubona. Sikhona. Halfway. Okay. Siyabonga. I'll give to my secretary, Comrade Emilia. She's going to come and do introduction of guests. And
Aso
Program Director. Viva Dinosa, viva! Viva! Viva Pokru, viva! Viva! Viva Sakau, viva! Viva! Viva Afatu, viva! Viva! Viva Saktu Textile, viva! Viva! Viva Satsau, viva! Viva! Viva Nehau, viva! Viva! Viva Saspo, viva! Viva! Viva Satau, viva! Viva! Viva NM, viva! Viva! Viva Samu, viva! Viva! Viva Samatu, viva! Viva! Manda! Comrade, let me thank this opportunity. Viva Satu, viva! Viva! Let me greet our shop steward number 1, Comrade President Zingi Swalosi. Our National Gender Chairperson in absentia, Comrade Tandegam Sibi, and our National Gender Deputy Secretary, Comrade Pomozo Makupula, who forwarded their apology to this gathering because of some organizational issues. Let me do my job. Mina pela ngistimela sase Pretoria. Masusuke Cleveland seme Jimiston, masuke Jimiston siyafika ePitoli. Aseme zonke idishi ngisho abahlale Soweto bayazi. Uma siphume eGeorge kwakho sishanga ama first stop. So angenyenze kanje ke nina abaselimpopo sengisheshe ngifike. Although I'm a Limpopo born. By the way, my name is Emilia Mapagela. I'm the National Gender Secretary of COSATU. I'm the National Gender Chairperson of SACAU. Let me introduce our COSATU President, Comrade Zingi Swalosi. Madam Press, can you greet the workers? We also have our COSATU National Treasurer, Comrade Frida Wosthuizen. We have amongst our midst Comrade Saktu, the first Deputy President, Comrade Numalo. Sorry. Comrade Susan Kumalo sengamshadisa phela. We have Pop Crew, the second Deputy President, Comrade Amelia Mahlatsi. We have our National Gender Chairperson of the NUM Women Structure, Comrade Lydia Nkopane. We have Comrade Matapelo Kanye, our National Secretary of the Women Structure from NUM. We have got the Segela Lake, or Comrade Ntabiseng Mashiteng, or National Secretary of the Women Structure, NUM. We have Comrade Ntombi Nane Khabanelwi, our treasurer from NUM. We have the organizer from National Union of Men Workers, Comrade Fumanele Poto. Before those who made us to be here and also to hear what happened in 1973, 50 years ago. Amongst ourselves, we've got Umama, Umadlamini, Nombuso. But in Niti Unombuso Gadlamini Mtunu, Nishonjan, veteran 1973, Durban strike.
Viva COSATU, viva!
Viva!
Viva COSATU, viva!
Viva!
Viva TWEC, viva!
Viva!
Dina mastraka seta nasishole yo ngithi. Sishitheka, asishole. Yama
Lema 2000, my comrades. We have got umama umadlamini futhi ulady unodangala usisi ka mama unombuso. We, amongst ourselves, we have got two comrades, Ubaba Ujabu Ngobo, also the veteran of the 1973 Durban strike. We have got our national chairperson of COSATU Young Workers, Comrade Jamila Mhlari.
Qina msebenzi wekhosathu qina. Jikijela uyamweka wekhosathu jikijela.
We have got uDeputy isekela lakhe uComrade Ihlonolo Maphatso, Deputy Chairperson of the Young Workers COSATU.
Uzoyithola kanjani? Ondele khoni.
We have got our comrades whom we forever traveling with. The two comrades, Comrade Lizelle Orr and Comrade Hamida from Naledi.
Wathinta abafazi.
Wazithi mbokodo.
Amandla.
Awethu.
Comrades, we have got ukhona lo hey iyathumeka lengane noma indala. Lengane iyathumeka noma indala niyayibona ngithi. Comrade Gertrude Mthweni, the National Gender Coordinator of COSATU.
Ilanga lethu leli, ilanga lethu. Ilanga lethu. Lontanga 1973.
We have got Comrade Louisa Nxumalo, manje sengiright ngiphambanisa ibongo ngiyatholisa ama comrades. Comrade Louisa Nxumalo, our organizing secretary who is leading this gender structure at COSATU level.
Amandla.
Awethu.
We have got Comrade umama umngani kaMama uNombuso angikhonanga ukuthola igama lakhe naye beka khona emzabalazweni.
Igama lami Teresa Mwandla. Amandla.
Awethu.
Viva Comrade Teresa, viva.
Viva.
Umama osilidayo, osiphethe, osiholayo. Ngokusithoba okukhulu. Umama wethu unomusa ngithi. Basho kanjalo mabamqamba igama bathi unomusa. uMadube kaNcube uPremier wase KZN.
Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Igama lamakhosikazi. Wathinta abafazi.
Comrade sinayo uComrade uThabo Mahlangu, our national organizer from COSATU.
Viva COSATU, viva.
Viva.
We have got our Deputy General Secretary of the Federation, Comrade Gerald Twala. Unobhala uyabhala namanje.
Anda. Awethu.
Amanda.
We have got uComrade uMacengwane, uComrade Edwin Mchunu, the Provincial Secretary of COSATU in KZN. Kabasela kamavoko. Iza. Khawusibingelele. Usaphumile. Comrade, before sixoshwa kuthiwa hambani, although sesamukele osihlalo, I remember uComrade Treasurer elithi ngakhuluma into zasekhaya KZN, but there's somebody who said asirecognizwanga on the 22nd of June 2022. So sicela leadership ye-gender structure in the province. Sukume sibone sicela uComrade Deputy Chair, uComrade Secretary and Comrade Deputy Secretary. order. Kungenxa yala makhosikazi sila ba-organizile ukuthi namhlanje le event ibe yimpumelelo. We have got uComrade Hlengiwe Buthelezi, the ANC Women's League LGBTQIA+ provincial convener. Comrade, can you greet the workers? Comrade, we have got Comrade, the NOS, our National Organizing Secretary from Sack to Textile, Comrade Bonita.
Mandla.
We have got our provincial office bearers with COSATU in KZN, Comrade Pomlani Duma. Another POP is Londi Wenzele. Qina COSATU qina. Ayibongwe. Comrade Program Director, Mushomo waka ufelela mo. Ngiyaleboga. Comrade Deputy Chair, sengiqedile njalo. Ke gopela Comrade Chairperson Anke Bodulo ba hae. Ke se ka tlhola ke dira diphoso ke nyaka go tshwarwa nne. They were sitting down, President. Hey, let me apologize on behalf of my secretary. Hey, Directonadi Diraso. Aja Kumalo, Misharan Kumalo, Aja Ola. That's how the fish I'm looking at. That's how I secretary. So on a lighter note, yeah, I know that situation. When saying name, it's like the same. You think Susan is Numalo, Gandu Kumalo. Louisa is Kumalo, Gandu Numalo. On a lighter note, to say about comrades, mine is just to do the purpose of the day, Yanam Sanje, which why are we here? And we are still going to come back. Thank you very much. It's a build-up for the coming big event that is coming, according to
Durban strike. That's why we are having Abomam Nombusola. There were textile union, corporate, its construction. They were leading the strike in 1973 in January, if I'm not mistaken. Then on the 30th of March, that's where we are going to hear Uti Bayenzen. Yesterday when we visited them, Bategiti, it's like Kunala Posishia or something. But they were striking peacefully. Tonight, either we ban the streets, it's either we ban the clinics, it's either we ban the school. In terms of when you ban is colony library. Next week next week you'll be coming to say Abantwana Bana school. But we are the ones that ban that school. Sebe umamnumbus was buzutina, why are we becoming violent? But we are clever enough to say, and it's true. I'll never go to Dwars River and bend their mind. I'll only bend the roads in front of Dwars, but I'll never go and bend Dwars. I'll never go to ESCOM and say, ESCOM, now we are dealing with us with load shedding. Let me ban ESCOM. We are not doing that. So the Durban strike, it was during the apartheid era, but they've managed to achieve. President Zingisolo said yesterday, the unfortunate part of it is that those things that they were still fighting by then, we are still continuing to fight for them even today. They were fighting for minimum wage. Unfortunately, we are still fighting for a living wage now. We are still not yet there. There are those who are saying, when I got paid, I have 10,000 rand. Unfortunately, now if I can get 10,000 rand now, within 30 minutes it will be gone. That's the unfortunate part of it. I buy electricity of 2,000 rand. It hardly finished the month because I don't know what's happening. It's like when things goes up, the money starts to depreciate. It's no longer able to do that. By being here today, we said it's an International Women's Day. Can we do the build-up of it's a 50th celebration actually for the Durban strike, and we are going to KZN. The fortunate part, and KZN, clap your hands for yourself. You have made it. It's a Mambizama province. It's like Sekaya, it's a KZN. It shows a good. We didn't make a mistake. Comrade Amelia, we didn't make a mistake to choose KZN. They've pulled and made it this day to become successful. I don't want to go too much. Still, no, Mam Nombus Nzombona. She's over 70, but it's like she's 25. I was saying to her, Mama, I wish I can be like you when I grow old. I'm about 40 plus, but it's like I'm above 60 plus. So I need a recipe there to be like you. We'll move to the message of support. Something to learn. I'll give to the Deputy Chairperson of Gender of KZN to come and do the introduction of our premier, Omar Mube. I am confused. Yeah, I don't want to mix like my Nopala to say then I'll give it to you and do the introduction. She'll come in to give us a message of support. Over to you.
Thanks, Chair. Amandla. Amandla. Viva Kosatu, Kosatu, viva.
Viva.
Viva Kosatu, Kosatu, viva. Viva. Viva SACP, viva.
Viva.
Viva ANC, viva.
Viva.
Malibongwe. Ngibingelela ama-comrades from the national office, provincial office, delegates. Comrade mine is to introduce our premier, Comrade Nomusa Durban. She was born in Wamashu Township. Ambassador Nomusa Durban
Dube made history on the 10th of August 2022 when she was sworn in as the first female premier of KwaZulu-Natal since South Africa's democratic Premier Dube is an activist of the African National Congress, and her passion lies in honoring the contribution of women and youth toward nation building and the country's transformative agenda. In her early years, she worked for organizations such as the National Association of Democratic Lawyers, ADASA, Lawyers for Human Rights, and National Education Council Committee. Prior to her deployment as Premier, she was the member of the Executive Council responsible for finance portfolio. She was previously MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs in KwaZulu-Natal. Premier Dube also served as the MEC for Cooperative Government and Traditional Affairs for 2 terms. Premier Dube is an acute policy maker who holds a master's degree in the public administration from the University of Natal and is currently studying towards her PhD. Should I continue? Thanks, Chair.
Amanda, viva COSATU, viva SSCP, viva Malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi, viva ANC, viva ANC, viva. Siyabonga comrades, sifisa ukubingelela ngenkulu inhlonipho Program Director, Comrade Lebogang, sibingelele President wethu wakaCOSATU, Comrade Zingiswalosi. Comrade President, it's always so nice, so fulfilling when we say your name as a president. It's so refreshing, I must be honest with you. I also wish to acknowledge Comrade Chairperson, Comrade Duma, Provincial Chair of COSATU, Comrade Nobala, Comrade Edwin. Comrade, I also wish to acknowledge COSATU Provincial Gender Chairperson, Comrade Nobuhle, and all the national leadership of COSATU and all other affiliates, members of the Executive Central Executive Committee, the representatives of all other affiliates, representatives of our alliance partners, and all the leadership of our sister federations represented here, our stalwarts, abakhona lapha nathi namhlanje, ama-veterans wethu siyanibingelela kakhulu umthombo wethu. Kuyintokozo kakhulu kuba nani namhlanje. Nonke nje, ladies and gentlemen, ngiyabingelela kakhulu. Sanibona. Molweni. Okay. Thank you very much, comrades. Allow me to convey our greetings, comrades, from the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Executive Council, as we wish all the women workers of our province, of our country, a progressive International Women's Day. The thrust of today's gathering, comrades, is to mark this important day in our lives of workers as well as of women. But as we mark this
2023 International Women's Day, as the world celebrates, as we well recall the role of women in various structures and struggles for peace, humanity, and freedom. Program Director, we are very grateful and honored that we are going to be hosting this celebration of the Durban strike as KwaZulu-Natal. But on this occasion, we remind ourselves of this important history of women as agents in their freedom and the founding of the International Women's Day and the freedom of others in line with the topic for the memorial lecture, which says the practice of women erasure in the workers' struggle must end, the case of 1973 Durban strike. Comrades, it's like it was yesterday when we were talking about this, when this theme, it's like it's never changed from 1973. But we wish to congratulate the organizers of this conference for placing on the table such an important question. Program Director, women have been central to the liberation of South Africa and even pioneered the formation of the Bantu Women's League in 1913 under Dr. Charlotte Maxeke. The Bantu Women's League was founded to give the organization to women issues and to channel women's politics in the ANC as the ANC nationalist struggle, and to fight the declaration by the Orange Free State province requiring black women to carry the passes. As early as 1912, the Black Women's League obtained 5,000 black and colored women's signatures, which were to be sent to the Prime Minister, Louis Botha, requesting the repeal of the past laws. And we remember this all the time, comrade, in 1956, when the South African government attempted to subject women to the past laws again. And we are so grateful, comrades, that as we are gathered here, we are going to be taking those notes to say how far have we gone with the women's struggle, but also have we progressed or we have not progressed. When I was thinking about today's gathering, I found with this, you know me. I like to pray and I believe in God. So I found this word, Proverbs 31, verse 30, which said, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And I thought about you, Comrade President, how much you have raised the name of our women, how much you've made us proud whenever you stand in that stage. So as Ghana writer Kwasi is one of many observers globally who worry about the question of erasure, that is the subject of the memorial lecture, and the temptation to write women out of history of struggle, or where they are partners to be seen only as wives or only as mothers. Asudi warns that even when stories have been told, such as the one of anti-apartheid activist Umama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, they are often riddled with double standard, sexist tropes, which often try to position them as helpers of men and reduce them into wives or the helpers in their homes. This is even though the women have historically been limited to leaders of women's wing, where we were able to demonstrate enormously the leadership potential that we have. But even in the ANC, in its 111 years of existence, this is still the battle, comrades. The battle of ideas of women as leaders, not only of its women and the youth wings, but of the mother body. And at this day and age, sometimes it sounds very weird when you say, why can't we have women on leadership in the ANC? And it's always like a joke that you can ever do that in our structures. But fortunately, there are enough women in the broader alliance who are conscious of this omission and who every day remind us that women are equal participants in our structures with the same voting power and the potential to assume leadership in every level of our society. There are many stories of individuals and groups, heroes that were performed by women and heroic acts in our liberation. But according to the first president of the liberated Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, much of the success of the CPP has been due to efforts of women members. From the very beginning, women have been the chief field organizers, and we've seen it, comrades. Women as a daughter, women as a mother, women as a wife, women as a sister, women as a girlfriend, women as a homework teacher, women as the Uber driver, driving your kids, driving your family, a woman as a domestic worker. And these are some of the things that Kwame Nkrumah talk about when he say women have always been the chief organizers. But the challenge is, how do we turn that ability and make it people realize that we can indeed lead? We have traveled through innumerable towns and villages in the roles of propaganda secretaries that have been responsible for most in bringing about the solidarity and the cohesion of many of our political parties. In South Africa, we have our own Umama Unokhamba Nyawo, Abo Mama Uposhi Andwandwe, Abo Mama Uflo Mkhize, who through their heroic and bravery deeds wrote us as women into the history. Must we tell the history as it happens and not as some men saw it? Women have faced tear gas, comrades. Women have faced challenges of past laws. Women have faced the battle of the guns in many instances. They have been detained. They have been tried to make a better land for their children. But how much of that do we know in our country? Program Director, in an online article published on this day in March 2019, academic Soyin Hayes argues for a racial or radical look at the role of women in the struggle, and not just as supporters of men, but as women in their own right, women as the leaders. Hines argues that the impetus for establishing an International Women's Day can be traced back to the New York City in February 1908, when thousands of women who were garment workers went on strike and marched through the city to protest against their working conditions. In the article, Boris Professor, a feminist studies at the University of California, Santa Barbara, states, and I quote, like today, these women were in less organized workplaces than their male counterparts. They were in the lower echelons of the garment industry, and they were working at the low wages and experiencing sexual harassment. But it was those women who determined the tide of history. It was those women who made this day possible that we are celebrating today. But how many of us do we know about those women? It was in honor of the strikes, which were ongoing for more than a year, that National Women's Day was celebrated for the first time in the United States of America on the 28th of February 1909, that's spearheaded by the Socialist Party of America. The historian Rochelle of Harvard also writes in one of his articles that women were mostly the ones on the bread line and were the core of those protesters. And in fact, male revolutionaries like Leon Trotsky were upset at those women, as these disobedient and misbehaving women were going out on the International Women's Day, when they were meant to wait until May 1. And those are many stories of women's struggle and defiance that are never told. We were never told that it was those women who dared the leadership of Trotsky and the leadership of the Russians that determined this International Women's Day that we are celebrating today. They were being asked, why are you so rebellious? Why are you disobedient? But today, the international world is celebrating. So we could argue that the women in many countries, comrades, including here in Durban, demanded and delivered freedom. Many of the freedom we enjoy today are born out of struggle of women who led from the front in the liberation for all. Our late icon, President Nelson Mandela, was a champion of women's rights because he believed that they are an integral part of free society. And he said in a speech that he gave on the 8th of May 1994 in Cape Town, and I quote, "Freedom cannot be achieved unless women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression." It was Nelson Mandela Foundation that reminds us why this conversation is important today. Today, South African women live in fear and are still challenged with issues such as gender-based violence, discrimination, unemployment, poverty, gender-based violence. The violence against women is a growing phenomenon, comrades, and some research shows that 1 in 4 women have been the subject of this harassment or have experienced abuse or beating. So gender-based violence has serious physical, mental, economic, and social repercussions. Moreover, it prevents survivors from achieving economic prosperity because of stigma, physical and psychological trauma caused by the violence. And I always say to comrades that there are many of our women out there who might not be having the scars that we can see, but the psychological trauma that they experience through the abuse is more than some of the scars that we can see. So we need to understand as women ourselves that gender-based violence worldwide is largely as a result of a systemic gender inequality that disempowers women and girls, lack of justice and that of available resources, the lack of economic opportunities, which also leads the victims to being dependent on the abuser. It also gives power to the abusers to continue abusing without fear of repercussions. So namhlanje njengoba sihlangene la, comrades, on this lecture commemorating Durban strike, siyafisa ukuthi ke summon the courage of those women who walked ahead of us to reverse the tide of violence against women and children. This commemoration must assist us, comrades, in writing the lives of many of our forgotten heroes. Abanjengomama uNokuthela Dube, abanjengomama uPortia Ndwandwe, omama uPhyllis Naidoo, omama uBessie Head, omama uVictoria Mxenge, omama uCharlotte Maxeke, nabanye abaningi. Siyakholwa ukuthi with this anniversary such as the Durban strike commemoration, siyakwazi ukuthi sibhale the true history and the heroic actions of many women who ensured ukuthi namhlanje we are a liberated country. Siyafisa ukuthi we salute many of these women for their heroes, as they are heroes who sacrificed their lives in order to liberate the people of this country from the jaws of apartheid. So let us give these lioness the voice. Let us give these lioness peace, because they will never be in peace, comrades, unless we rise up as women and say enough is enough. Until we raise up as women and stop saying, when a woman like our comrade president here, when she leads, we say she's aggressive. But men are assertive. We must stop putting ourselves down. I'm too big. I couldn't see it. We must be able, comrades, to support one another. We need to stop this thing. I know there's many of the women, even in this room, who've supported me with many prayers, who've supported me even when they were saying nothing. And we need to rise up and not be silent, because that is the problem. When we are silent, people think we are not thinking. People think we are not taking actions. So I do believe that this commemoration of the Durban strike, President, we will begin to raise the flag of our women's struggle. We'll begin to put back on the agenda of women's struggle. We'll begin to say to us as women, it's about time. We've had our President Losi here leading. Why can't she lead this country? Why is it when we need somebody to lead the country, it must be a male comrade? She's led this biggest union. She's led in this country. And we've seen her daring many of our leaders to speak even ngezinto as uncomfortable to many of us and even our leaders in our country. But it is up to us whether we keep quiet or we continue burning that candle on the both ends, so that many of the women out there can see that indeed it cannot only be Comrade Nomusa, Durban, Premier, but we can have many other who can come after Comrade Nomusa. It can't be, comrade, that 27 years or 28 years into democracy, comrade president and comrade, it took 28 years. 28 years. I mean, that is unacceptable. It can't be as if we didn't exist when there's so many women in this country, in this province, have led from the front. So the benefits of the Durban strike, comrade, commemoration must be to bring back the sterling role that was played by women, must be to give us back that energy, that fuel of saying, indeed, we are leaders as women. That's this commemoration, comrades, of the historic strike that fueled our struggle for freedom and empowerment, inspired us. Let this inspire us so that we don't look back, but we soldier, but we say, let's take many of the women to leadership position. Let us learn more about the contribution of women in our liberation. Let us say many of those women abahleli laphaya emgaqweni bedayisa amaveji wabo, abahleli laphaya kuzona zonke indawo bezama ukuthola imali ukukhulisa abantwana babo. Let them look at us njengoba sihlangene lapha namhlanje and say, mhlambe kukhona okuzolunga njengoba labo mama bekhosati behlangene lapha. Let them know that we have not forgotten them. Because I always say, comrades, I don't know, President, I always tell them it's very cold up there. Yeah. It's very cold, comrades. True. So the more we are, and the more the voice of many women up there, the more we are going to be heard. Rather than to have this lonely voice, because every time you're going to say, oh, Nango, it can't be, comrade, at this day and age. What about our girl child, who needs to know that in this country, we are all liberated? What about that girl child who is losing hope of ever becoming the president because sibona ukuthi leli lizwe akulona labantu besifazane. So siyabonga kakhulu comrade nge-opportunity esiyitholayo ukuthi sihlanganyele kanye nani nonke President. Siyabonga kakhulu for bringing the Durban Strike celebration and this commemoration to Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. Siyabonga kakhulu kubona wonke ama-comrade who are not going to stop talking and doing, but who are going to say on this day sakwazi ukuvuseleleka ukuthi sizibone ukuthi nathi singabantu besifazane siyakwazi ukulida, but we can even lead better. Mina ngihlale ngibatshela ke ukuthi into ehlula amadoda ngesizulu President emhlalo thiwe into ehlula amadoda iyabikwa. Ngiyasithanda lesizulu lesisisho kanje. Ngithi I understand. Yeah, thiwe into ehlula amadoda iyabikwa. Ibikwa kobani? Ngoba phela mayehlula amadoda ikwaziwa nakomkabayi ukuthi akekho ongayisolva mayisihlula amadoda. So ngiyathemba ke ukuthi namhlanje sizovuma comrade ukuthi into ehlula amadoda iyabikwa. Ukuthi ayike ibikwe bese kuthi abanikazi bendaba ebikwe bona bese beyayisukuma bayidingide indaba bayidingide ibonakala ikhanye eNingizimu Afrika ikhanye KwaZulu-Natal. Because that's one thing I always appreciate and know and love about women, because we are so colorful, comrades. I love that. That's one thing I always say. We come in all shapes and sizes, President, and we are so colorful. But sometimes we are blinded by this colorful this color, this beautiful colors that we are, and we tend to pull ourselves down. So happy International Women's Day, comrades, to all of you, the workers of our country, of our province. Viva International Women's Day, viva! Viva! Viva COSATU, viva! Viva! Long live the Alliance, long live! Long live! Amandla!